Right, so I'm going to start off with the Waggy palm this morning, and I'm going to be putting down these two Sabals, and when these pots are freed up I'm going to use this seed and cutting superfine grade compost. This is added vermiculite, it's enriched, etc. And then I'll transfer these two into the bigger pots where they're going to sit for winter in the polytunnel. But we'll get cracking with this Waggy palm here. Right, so if you're new to the channel or watching my videos, I'm going to show you what this Waggy palm will start to grow into. Let's put this down here. You can see some of the leaves are a little bit bent, but they'll all straighten up. They're not damaged, but you can see very palm-like, much smaller palm leaf, very stiff, almost plasticky. These are fantastic if you're in an area where there's a lot of wind. As you can see, there's hardly any wind here. These are the palms to go with because they're very robust and they can handle wind. The small palm leaves. So this was transplanted last year, and it's just continued on, no setbacks, thrown out new spears. But they're a beautiful, tidy looking palm. And it is very different to the uniquely beautiful palm, the Trachycarpus Wagnerianus, which is your bog standard entry palm. But you can see the way some of the leaves, the straps here just seem to fold over and they get a bit floppy. And then the ones at the top are rigid. It's bluey, kind of greeny, bright kind of a blue or grey sheen on the underside. This is another transplant, and it's thrown out new spears. There's about one, just count them, 1, 2, 3 new spears coming out. So this is doing really healthy, but you can just see the size compared to the Waggy. Both are super tough, hardy, for growing in Ireland, no problems whatsoever. Got a small Trachycarpus over there, and I put a small Trachycarpus over here. I think was it 2 seasons ago, and that has just burst into growth. So all they need is a couple of seasons in the ground, and they kick off and they start growing. Right, so we get the small Waggy in. See the pampas grass are in flower. Look fantastic. Starting to put on some size. There are different pampas grass. Here's the Zebra miscanthus. Beautiful grass coming into flower as well. So you can get small pampas, and you can get the big ones as well. So I already have the hole prepared down here. I've added the compost manure. It's going to be a great long-term feed. It's going to help with the roots over the next season or two to develop. When you get a palm like this, don't expect any growth immediately. Give it a couple of seasons, you know, 4, maybe 5 years, because it's going to be doing its business under the soil, developing its roots, and then they just start to take off. Right, so I think as you're coming into the entrance of the wood here, just on the left hand side, we've got some nice dwarf bamboo here. So it's going to stay at that height. They don't get much taller. It'll probably start to fill out this area. But we're going to have a nice waggy palm here, which is going to fill out this area here. And it's something that's going to catch the eye as you're coming in to the side here with this large tree. Just opposite we have the blue dragon, and we got some variegated rhododendron and some more bamboos. Right, so the pot with the waggy was freed up, and I'm going to transfer the Minor-Cherokee Sabal into that pot using the seed cutting compost. And when I get these small little pots like that, I don't tap them out or anything, because the roots will be fairly fragile in something so small. So what I do is I just actually make a slight tear or cut, and I peel away the side, and the pod will basically fall into your hand, so it's completely undamaged. It didn't fall apart or anything. I didn't have to squeeze it back together again. So these roots, in my opinion, theoretically now, they don't even know that they've been taken out of this pot, and they can sit in this. They'll get extra inch or so, a couple of inches of compost around them, underneath and to the sides, to give them maybe a little bit of a buffer during the winter as well. If when the cold comes up, if we get icy nights or snowy nights, it comes up against the wall of this plastic. Pots do not, especially plastic, they do not offer any protection whatsoever to the freezing cold. And regardless of how strong the palms are, Trachycarpus or Sabals, these are only like babies. Okay, so when they're talking about palms and they can handle, you know, minus 12 degrees Celsius or whatever, that's pretty much the adults that they're going to be talking about, that have massive root systems, and they're deeply connected into the soil around them. So these are only kicking off, and I'm just going to fill it around the sides with the seed and compost, and put the identification back into it, and they should be fine over winter. Another thing you can do, what I did last year, is on the really cold nights, if you get a cardboard box as well, you could layer the bottom of it with straw, whatever you want, and you can put your pot down inside. These walls here will actually add as another barrier against icy winds, and you can almost close it over a little bit, come back out, open it up. So something very cheap that can add as a protective barrier. Right, so I've Sabals across here, some around here, and I'm going to plant one up in here at the end, near the end of the wall. And this is a Sabal minor, and I'm going to add some compost to enrichen the soil. There's lots of stone and everything here, so it's not a bog, it's not waterlogged, but does retain moisture, which they like. So we'll get this one in. Right, so I've added half a bag of the farmyard manure, and it's rich in organic matter for higher crop yields. Obviously you can use it for vegetables, support strong establishment. This is what I want. I'm not looking for big palm leaves. I'm looking for root development for the next few years, and just the fertility of the soil. Okay, so we're going to blend that up with the soil it's in, plant it up. Right, so I've added some stone like I've done with the other ones, and it should keep them clean, keep the muck away from them. It also helps me to guide me when I'm going around with the lawnmower. So that's the Sabal minor added. So 2 Sabal minors. Right, so here's the second Sabal palm I planted this morning. This is where there was the wild sedge basically just took up this whole area, and I think it was affecting this negatively, the Cordyline australis. You can see the size of it, it's healthy, but when you compare it to the one that's over here, where this one here is not competing, look at the difference. This whole area along here was this sedge, wild sedge, beautiful, I love them, but I have plenty of them down in the wood, so I sprayed it off, killed it off, and I thought it'd be ideal to actually put in another Sabal. So this is Sabal Rosei, or Rosei, and I'm going to top dress the soil with the stone and put in manure as well, blended it up. The soil is good here anyway. Now 2 other spots, this one here, which is pretty close to this Sabal mexicana, showing out new spears. This is doing really well. That's about 2 feet tall altogether. We'll see how they get on over winter. I might put cloches over these palms and these ones, because this will be their first winter here, to give them some protection. And I have a spot here as well. And that is the Sabal etonia and the Sabal Minor-Cherokee, which I'll probably put in there smaller. So they'll probably do better in between these 2 bigger ones anyway. We'll see how they work out. Right, so 2 of the Sabal palms are planted up, and the Waggy palm is planted up, and now I'm just going to transfer the same Sabal etonia into a much bigger pot where it can sit for the winter. Right, so this is the method I use anyway. You get these small little plug plants, real light plastic pots. You get a little scissors or whatever, some sort of sharp blade, just cut the top and the side across the bottom. Don't damage the roots or try and disturb the soil, the compost that's around the plant's roots. They're very delicate at this stage, and basically you don't want them to know that basically you're moving them into a bigger pot. And so nothing was disturbed on the soil of the compost. Don't go poking about at it, and just pop it into the hole and keep to the same surface level of the compost that the plant was in this, and that's it. Should be fine then for winter. So that's the etonia.